Yo, what is good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family, and welcome back to another daily Casper crypto live stream. And we have a lot of very interesting sources to cover in today's stream, ultimately highlighting a lot of the institutionalized capitals coming into crypto, from the likes of UBS, which is a $1 trillion banking giant, to even Coinbase's CEO Brian Armstrong stating that crypto will be everybody's 401k. How we got sources suggesting that crypto regulation will be enforced by August, which we've been saying for quite some time now. And equally a lot of very interesting Casper updates as well. This stuff here, which is very interesting to see, which I believe again is a testament to how early we are with Casper and how it's still being ignored. But again, it's only a matter of time before they can no longer ignore Casper. They tried to ignore crypto for years on end. And now look where we're at now. Casper is in the same boat because it's a threat to the system, to the masses. They want to ignore it, but it's going to be too strong to ignore. Right now we can see Casper is currently up to, actually 3.01% on the daily time frame, valued at 12.09 cents. It has been trading between this zone for the past 4 or so days now. Obviously we've seen some massive wicks below due to the a lot of uncertainty this week. This week's been a very volatile week. So far we have seen Donald Trump confirming the trade deal with China on Monday, this first red wick here. We then saw the inflation CPI data coming out on the Tuesday, which saw, the negative sentiment turn to positive sentiment here. And then we saw the PPI data coming out and Coinbase hack happening just yesterday. I saw the downtrends here as well. And now today, it's been a relatively quiet day, truth be told, but we're seeing again the market kind of stagnate, and even Casper therefore making a bit of a rally today, up 3%, which is reassuring and good to see, which does lead me to believe that while I do think still there's potential we see Bitcoin correct to maybe 100k or so, Casper has shown a lot of strength and potentially won't correct much lower. If I'm to hazard a guess right now, again, not financial advice, hazard a guess, I will predict probably around, again, this golden pocket. If we see Casper correct, it will be unlikely for us to go below here. Again, anything can happen, not financial advice, we have to wait and see, but I am more optimistic right now that Casper's going to show a lot more strength. We have seen already in the previous times of this golden ratio, if you will. That's the wrong tool. I always choose the wrong tool. This one here, we can see Casper again did rebound close to the golden pocket here before making that reversal. And equally, if you draw this from the bottom to the top right now, Casper is kind of already in this kind of golden ratio pocket right now anyways. Oh, sorry, it's not, no. It could come down, sorry, to the 10.1, which again was in conjunction to the previous golden pocket. Same line there. So I would like to believe that on the longer time frame, Casper going to probably rebound around 10.1 if we do come down further, and in the short time frame again. So it's around this pocket here, if I'm to hazard a guess. But again, that's very baseline TA using one of the tools there. Of course, there's a lot more to analyze into the market to determine if and when a project may react. And of course, for me, as you already know, I believe fundamentals matter a lot more than TA. If you look at Casper on CoinMarketCap right now, we are just below the 100 million 24-hour trading volume as well. Sitting at 98.25 million, seeing it dominated by the likes of MEXC, then Gate, and then we got Bybit at 11.5, which is not too bad, but again, we need to see it higher. BitGet at 6.8 or 6.98 even. So again, we just need to see a lot higher in the volume right now. It's been it's been a bit of a quiet day. And if we look at the addresses as well right now, we can see we've got 524,500 addresses, so still not seeing much movement, although we have seen a few inflows today, which is nice to see all in all. And equally, when we look down and see who has been buying today, MEXC have been scooping up ahead of a lot recently. The past 2 days, we've seen over 55 million inflows, I believe. But that is not because people are selling back to MEXC from the looks of things, from what I have seen. It seems to be because they are buying, or, they're getting it from getting it from Gate. I think I saw somebody say they're getting it from a Gate wallet. We've seen a lot of outflows, of course, happening right now. And it looks like they're transacting it from one MEXC wallet to another one. So it looks like they're now trying to switch wallets. So you might see that happening again right now. But they're switching wallets from the looks of things right now. A lot of outflows to different wallets as well. But I mean, yeah, again, this is Mexi, right? We're already well aware of the manipulation going on right now, or alleged, although seemingly confirmed. Again, it's quite transparent, quite obvious to see what's happening with them on Kaspa. Looking at inflows all in all, again, we've seen all at 200, scooping up 6 million, 2 million for 100, and kind of around that area as well. We've seen quite a bit of outflows as well today. A lot from Gate, because again, it seems to be that Mexi's buying it off Gate as well. But again, all in all, things are, I mean, it's quite a quiet day, truth be told. Top 10 adjusted come down quite a lot now to 16.4, not the 17.5 we've been used to. But again, I'm not particularly worried about where we're at right now. I don't see why we should be. Right now, we're in a boring day, but truth be told, of how volatile the last few days have been, sometimes boring's nice. It's a nice, breather, if you will. It does make it hard to cover sources at times, but don't worry, I've got some for you. But it's nice to have a boring day at times, give yourself a little bit of a time to catch your breath before we end up in due time just going through this ridiculous rally we'll see with crypto and Kaspa going up higher and higher. Right now on the 16th of May, we are officially 2 weeks left, also left until the start of June. And there does seem to be a lot of belief right now, which again is based on the M2 and other factors as well, that we'll start seeing a rally in the market going into June. So hopefully seeing Bitcoin return to all-time highs. We could see a pullback still, but again, we'll have to wait and see how the geopolitical developments unfold. But welcome back everyone once again to the stream. Mr. Miles first, welcome back my man, hope you're doing very, very well. And yes, as always, hashtag free Miles. No, just don't. What's up, Bingo man, hope you're doing very, very well. Kryptoni, yo brother, and you too, Falco, welcome back to the channel. Could be my algo, but definitely seeing a lot more Kaspa mentions. Yes, I mean, we're seeing right now a lot of the bullish sentiment is coming back to Kaspa, and that is, quite evident as you've seen Kaspa from its bottom here around the 7th of April. In the span of a month or so, it's gone up a 2.5x, and even then, it's not showing really any signs of slowing down. It's starting to rally against Bitcoin a bit more as well. If you do the Kaspa Bitcoin chart, we can see that Kaspa right now is showing a lot more relative strength than Bitcoin in recent time. I mean, it's still down, of course, from where it started back here. Still down, but it's showing a lot more relative strength right now. So I think when Kaspa starts to flip and outperform Bitcoin properly, which will happen in due time, no doubt to my belief, you'll see again the adoption come back, the FOMO come back. And it probably is your algorithm, of course, because again, my Twitter feed is my algorithm's always Kaspa as well. But again, it's a good time to be in Kaspa. I do think we're scheduled for some movement very, very soon. What's up, Greg, man? Hope you're doing very good, bro. And yes, happy Friday to you, brother. Welcome back to the channel. So without further ado, let's get into the content for today's stream. We have this post here from Bar Chart. Japan's 40-year bond yield just jumped up to 3.47%, its highest level in 2 decades, which is absolutely insane. And this is a very, very important factor, because one thing that I do wholeheartedly believe is when you're witnessing a financial collapse or a crisis, it won't look like one, at least on the surface, right? Seeing these bonds go up means that the strength of the yen is increasing, which also does relatively weaken the dollar as well. But they're seemingly, pumping these yields up higher and higher and higher. It is not sustainable. It's really, really not. So for me, this is a way of a kind of a mask, if you will, of the level of financial crisis we are still in. And once more, the belief that, and the confirmation even from institutions, that we're going to be coming to a new financial age, with crypto being the forefront of that. So we may see some more pullbacks right now. If we look at the DYX right now, DXY, the dollar index, we can see that again is currently up 0.26, not really moving much right now. But even then, it's still at quite low levels. Again, we've seen these sort of levels back, like late 24, early 24, late 23. We also saw it, back in 22 as well. So we are still in a very weak dollar compared to, where it was in January, beginning of this year, and equally where it was peaking of COVID area as well, with all the money printing. So again, this is good for the on-risk assets like crypto, like Kaspa, because it does mean that therefore there's evidently less belief in dollar right now, in currencies right now, and they're even trying to mask that seemingly as well. But again, I think the confirmation is pretty evident right here when you look at these sources. For example, this video that I'm going to play in a moment, this comes from UBS, who is the $1 trillion banking giant, where they have confirmed that their wealthy clients are ditching US dollar assets for crypto. Kind of a bit of a clickbait title there from Coin Bureau. In actuality, what they're stating here is they're seeing a lot more of their wealthy clients more inclined now to want to allocate portions of their portfolio into crypto, 5%. That might increase in the future as well. We are seeing actively more and more belief happening and investments happening into this space, as opposed to trying to ignore it and suppress it like they've been trying to do for years as well. So listen very closely to this interview here.
That's the reason alternative is not just private market and also hedge fund, commodity and crypto. Interestingly, recently when I talked to some of the traditional family offices, they were telling me they are now looking at allocation of 5% in crypto. That's the reason why even traditional banks like us, I have to make sure we get our platform ready to take on this opportunity. So I think definitely.
Listen very closely to the language he used there. Didn't say that, we see the need to. They said we have to. We have to make sure that we are ready to offer this technology, to offer crypto. They have to. They know they need to do so. And evident be a confirmation that, again, from trillion-dollar banking giants, the ones who, are critical pieces of infrastructure right now for the financial world, who are saying we need to be able to incorporate crypto into our balance sheets, to our financial strategies, because they know if they don't, they'll be left behind. You've got this interview as well. I'm going to play as well from CEO Coinbase, Brian Armstrong here, who states in his belief, which I agree with, that crypto is going to explode, but crypto is going to be a part of everyone's 401k. So again, listen closer to this interview as well.
Big news for you guys on the S&P 500. Is that big news for you guys on the S&P 500? Is that going to change your outlook at all, or the impact that Coinbase has?
Well, we're very happy to be included in the S&P 500. It now means that crypto is here to stay. It's going to be a part of everybody's 401k. It's a testament to the hard work of our employees and our investors, and it's a big appreciation to our customers, too, that helped us get to be one of the most trusted companies in America, and so we couldn't be happier.
Thank you so much.
And I mean, once more, it is a undoubtedly very, very big deal to have Coinbase, the biggest and most trusted American exchange, taking part and now being listed on the S&P 500. Because while we are seeing confirmation of banking giants and asset managers and financial institutions who are now wanting to come to crypto, we're now bringing crypto to them. So those who are still maybe standing off right now, who are a little bit, still have some cold feet about it, once they get a taste of what this is in the space that they are comfortable with, they'll be more inclined to jump over. And anyways, everything that's coming on crypto anyway, stocks, bonds, real estate, debt, will all be tokenized on a blockchain, on crypto, maybe on Kaspa in the future as well. So once more, this is very bullish for crypto. I completely agree with that. Although again, Coinbase right now is coincidental that Coinbase launched their dollar coin, which came out, a few days back, I think 2-3 days back, and only yesterday, therefore, we saw Coinbase exchange get hacked. Now, I haven't checked. You can see here, we did see a correction on the day it happened, see? Not surprising there, the day that Coinbase got hacked, we saw a pullback of about 6-7%. It's already going up right now, which is good and also not too surprising. Well, that's just, Coinbase Global. I'm not sure if I can find exactly the new dollar coin on S&P 500. I don't think I can, but either way, it's the fact that Coinbase got hacked so soon, and again, it's a testament that we were talking about yesterday. In fact, I'm making a video on it later on about while KYC, AML, those sorts of regulatory policies are important to help protect investors, it could also be for control, but you can debate that. While they are deemed important, we are in a different market, a very, very different market. So it's an interesting one, right? It's an interesting one how sorry, I've lost train of thought there. It's interesting how, Coinbase list their dollar coin, and at the very same time, or a few days afterwards, then Coinbase get hacked. And it's just a fact of, once more, if you have crypto on exchanges, be very careful. I will not keep your crypto on any exchanges. It's just not worth it to have a cold storage right now, because they haven't got your best interests at heart. And as we did cover briefly in one of my institutional documents as well, that the regulatory policies they have are too rigid and too strict for this market. It doesn't work. It does not work. And I think Kaspa can hopefully free that up and save that as well. And it is also quite frustrating in the sense, well, which we have already spoke about, and I think even Cryptoni broke down exactly potentially for reasons why this, coin 50, that's now on the SP 500 right now. Coin 50 indexed to include the top 50 largest digital assets by market cap. But of course, Kaspa's not a part of that, despite being number 35. But they have got Dog of a Hat 75, Jasmine 80, CHZ 138, Rose 183, LPT 193. So it's evidently not the token in the top 50, because if it was, then Kaspa should be in there. And of course, Tony did shine some light and give a little bit of a understanding, if you will, on potentially why, because Coinbase inherently have 80% of their something on their system on the Ethereum chain, and Kaspa is a direct threat to Ethereum as well. I mean, Kaspa's a threat to everything, but its biggest competitor, I'd argue right now, is Ethereum. So by adopting Kaspa, they could also be kind of acknowledging that it's a upcoming project, that it can do exactly what we want it to do in this community, which is to replace Ethereum. I mean, it will. So we'll probably see Kaspa added in this sort of asset class, or this coin 50 in the future, but not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. But it is quite sad, I guess, a shame. But again, for me, it's the same reason as to why all the big exchanges right now, the Binance and the Coinbase and the OKX, have not listed Kaspa yet. They're just ignoring it. For me, it's definitely something going on. But we'll see it come through in due time. When that happens, well, we are still holding Kaspa right now. We are going to be very, very lucky to see where Kaspa rides from here as well. What's up, Auden Film? Hey, have I missed anything? Not just yet, bro. We're getting onto all the good stuff right now. Shed, bro. Incorporate, what's up, my man? It was just listed on Coinbase. No, Kaspa was just listed on Coinbase. I mean, I highly doubt that, because if it was listed on Coinbase right now, we will see Kaspa pumping like crazy. And equally, that'd be all over my feed right now, and I am not seeing anything about it so far. So yeah, I have not seen anything to confirm that Coinbase have listed Kaspa, and that would be a massive shock. Again, with Kaspa not even being part of their Coin 50, I'd be very surprised if Coinbase Exchange were to list Kaspa right now. They will. I'm still not remotely worried about they won't do it, but it probably won't be anytime soon. Maybe they're always late to listing projects, but it'll probably be Binance first, then OKX, then Crypto.com, then Gemini, that sort of order, and you'll see Coinbase list it later. What's up, Andy, bro? Welcome back, my man. Today I got 6.76 Kaspas. Love it, bro. Keep up backsacking that bag, my man. What's up, John, my man? When do you think Kaspa will top? It's really tough to say. It really, really is, because we still haven't got confirmation of a market breakout. We do, however, though, so I'll play this video as well right now, have information from White House, who has told Fox News in an optimistic sense they believe Bitcoin and crypto regulations will be passed by August. So therefore, you'll see regulations coming out in August, giving the green light for these banks to start taking part in crypto more actively with stablecoins and whatnot, and that will therefore see a lot more inflows, a lot more capital, a lot more volume, more demand, higher prices, and I imagine it'll probably go on for a good few months. So exactly when we see them top out, I cannot say for sure. I probably imagine maybe Q4, but again, it depends, because I don't exactly understand. I don't think any of us can really attest to or know how long the institutions plan to pump the market. They may decide to pump it going into 2026. into the first quarter or second quarter. So we'll have to wait and see. But listen very closely to this interview here, and we'll continue on with the video in a moment, or the stream in a moment.
Precedent.
I remain very optimistic. I think that our colleagues from the Hill on both sides of the aisle understand how important stablecoin legislation is for the American people.
We've seen our volume definitely increase in crypto, and I think it's a combination of both the interest of our customer being present, but also the regulatory clarity that is starting to appear is making people a bit more excited about the space.
What I think you're seeing here at this conference is a recognition of crypto's resilience, that even in the face of unprecedented, intense political pressure in the United States and all over the world, crypto has endured.
I remain very optimistic. I think that our colleagues...
So there you have it again. This is, I mean, while again it's not confirmation, it's optimism, but I mean, the White House being optimistic about seeing regulations passing by August is reassuring news. That's only 3 months away from now. May, June, July, August is not far off now. And that will, for me, be the market top indicator. We've been talking about August for quite some time now, so I would not be surprised to see it happening around then. And that will be, by that point, if you're looking in conjunction to the M2 supply, looking about August time, you're looking at, you know, a much, much higher August time has got, you know, Bitcoin looking at around 140, 130, 140k, give or take. And when you get the confirmation of regulations, you'll see, you know, Bitcoin just start going up much higher as well. More than likely. Again, it's not confirmation, but it's regulations will see more inflow, more demand, and that will generate more, you know, price. At the same time, higher price targets. Coinbase didn't really get hacked. It was social engineering. Some call center employees were bribed to give out some customer info, and they only got 1%. Okay, well, I mean, only getting 1% is, you know, small in the grand scheme of things, but then when you think about how many, you know, people use Coinbase, it's still quite a sizable amount, 1%. And equally, to touch on that as well, with them getting bribed, that once more is why Kaspa be the perfect solution. Kaspa is, you know, you'll see more DEXs and, you know, platforms and stuff coming out on Kaspa, hopefully adhering to Kaspa's and Satoshi's original vision of, you know, fair decentralization, true decentralization. And Kaspa is literally the only infrastructure in this space that has taken into account human greed. As we highlighted just there, some call center employees were bribed to giving out some customer info. Human greed. But with Kaspa, that would not be possible. If it was done, if Kaspa's done in a decentralized manner, and you know, using the ledger or the infrastructure, the actual, you know, the layer you're on, that is again still a testament to Kaspa. Like, I'd like to envision and imagine that IGRA will be quite similar in the regard of, yes, like you couldn't, well, I mean, you couldn't bribe Kaspa per people per se, because again, it'd be decentralized. Of course, there will be some centralized elements probably coming out, some other infrastructures, you know, that I'll be trying to build on Kaspa that will probably be quite centralized in itself. And that won't take into account human greed, but Kaspa at the base layer will take into account human greed. So, if anything, Kaspa therefore is a better solution. Of course, you know, Coinbase is an exchange, Kaspa's not an exchange, so it's a bit of a weird comparison to make, but it's just me highlighting once more that Kaspa is the only infrastructure in the world who's taken into account human greed and therefore can prevent against it. Welcome back, Dave Devious Me, my man. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing very, very well. AI level thing, Kaspa got listed? No, it did not get listed. You just killed the pump I was about to create. I mean, sure, I doubt there would have been a pump off that. You know, we had a lot more confirmation than that. I mean, we would be able to tell if there was a big listing like Coinbase, because the market for Kaspa would jump up easily 30% straight off the back. There's no technology that can solve social engineering hacks, not even Kaspa. Is that so? Maybe I misinterpreted or misunderstood the nature of how Kaspa is resistant to that sort of stuff. Because I'm taking what that is from what I remember listening to Plan K's video, where, I mean, I guess not in regards to social engineering hacks, that's probably a different element. Social engineering hacks is probably something else entirely. to the hack that I was thinking about. Because when listening to Plan K's endgame theory, he was stating how, I mean, the fact of the matter being that Casper is the only infrastructure that takes into account human greed. But I think it's more so in regard to a decentralized manner. People cannot be fixed through technology. I mean, yeah, you can't fix people greed, right? You can't fix it ultimately. But because Casper is decentralized, it does give it more resistance to human greed than other platforms. Because, you know, again, if people in XRP, the insiders got greedy, wanted to dump the project, they could do it very, very easily. They hold over 50% supply. But you can't do that with Casper. Because, you know, you haven't got insiders in that same sense. You got early people who adopted early, and that's fine, but you haven't got any insiders. But again, social engineering hacks, and again, I know you, Tony, you have a lot more understanding in IT elements than I do. I know that's not necessarily IT social engineering hacks, but I mean, either way, I do still think Casper is Casper is, you know, more resistant to other elements as well, you know. If that makes sense of what I'm trying to say, again, you're welcome to correct me. I know I make mistakes at times, and I'm happy being called out because I like to learn more myself anyways. What's up, Obi1.Casper? Welcome back to the channel, man. You're doing very, very well. And welcome back to the YouTube, brother. Hello, gang. Some YouTubers are starting to talk about Casper, and the FOMO is slowly rising, but I always follow the pioneers and other puff. Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised. There will be a lot of people now that Casper's looking good after coming down so significantly, and, you know, it seems to be showing all this. People will now be paying attention to all of the big developments coming out, this sort of stuff here that they'll be able to talk about. People, of course, will start to talk about Casper more and more. It will make sense completely, and they'll come jumping in. You'll see probably some even bigger content creators with more follower bases talking about Casper as well as the next big pick. And I mean, they'll be right in that regard. But at the same time, we've been here the whole time believing that and talking about it every single day because we know what it is that we are holding right now. We really, really do. And my only thing that I am expecting and almost praying doesn't happen is that the content creators who have now cheated Casper, which I understand not holding Casper, at least all the way down here. I can understand it to an extent. But those who didn't just sold but then started hating on Casper, if they somehow or decide to come back, even if they end up saying like, I was wrong about Casper and come back being all bullish about it, my respect for them would be, not that it matters what I think, but my respect for them would be gone. Because if you're going to, you know, while I do believe in second chances, you know, like it's the nature of how things were done. Like, people think I know the references I'm trying to make here without saying it directly. But yeah, I mean, we'll see Casper come back and we'll see everybody start talking about it again. So the FOMO will come back as well, I'm sure. Sad truth is more people falling to phishing and social engineering scams than institutions do. That's why it's such an issue with the Indian call center scammers. Yeah, I mean, it's one of them. Once again, it's just human greed, and if they can provide something you want, you're going to look up for your own interest. People are greedy. You've got to look up for your own interests. But, I mean, maybe somehow we'll find a way to prevent that in the future but who knows? Who knows? I wish it wasn't at work, lol. Yeah, I'm sure you've got a lot of points you could be making, Kryptoni, that even mistakes I may have been making, you could correct me for, but if you find some time off, by all means, please feel free to contribute. Either way, I still appreciate very much for just being in the stream as always, tuning in, whether mindlessly or actually actively taking part. You're always welcome here. So thank you very much, my man. Walk out, tell them you're listening Casper and you are a future millionaire, then flip them off. Not financial advice. Hey, not a bad shout. Although maybe wait for Casper to get a little bit higher first. Welcome back, Buffalo Man. Sorry I'm late. All good, brother. Thanks for being here as always. And hopefully you're enjoying the watch back or just a stream so far right now. That being said, let's get into the next stage of the information here. We've got here a big announcement from Casplex, which is good to see. They've open sourced KIWI, Casper in Wallet Integration, which is a system integration SDX for Casper and KRC20, the layer 2s. It's built on the WASM component of Rusty Casper, and it enables centralized exchange system integration, so that's quite big. web and extension wallet development, also very big, and on-chain automation scripting. So it's a flexible foundation for developers building with Kaspa on layer 2s. And what this means for those who aren't developers, some people like me, and I imagine most of us as well, is it makes it easier to connect apps, wallets, and exchanges to the Kaspa network, especially its layer 2 features. It's like giving builders a ready-made toolkit so they don't have to start from scratch. So therefore we'll see faster integration, more use cases, and broader adoption, making Kaspa therefore more accessible and more interoperable, which is extremely bullish news. One thing again I still continue to see is people saying that Kaspa is going to be too late to the cycle. Its big developments are coming out too late, and there's an argument to be made there, of course, but at the same time there are still steps being taken and precautions being taken right now from these initiatives, from Casplex, KRI, whoever it may be, to actively get these projects, the ability to use Kaspa done very, very early, integrated very, very. Of course, we've got to see the adoption still. Having the tools is good. You've got to see the adoption come through, but I'm sure you'll see people come through, and then word of mouth will just start spreading Kaspa about more and more. You'll see it come through quicker and quicker as well. And we even have this report here from Bits Lab. Thank you for your comprehensive report and details regarding Kaspa, which is also very interesting to see here. So they built a new research paper, Casplex Layer 2, a lightweight based rollup solution on Kaspa, and their technical analysis explores Casplex's Layer 2, the based rollup, enabling smart contracts on Kaspa. So understanding Kaspa's Layer 1, which, you know, for the most part we should already know that much. Kaspa Layer 2, a based rollup for smart contract execution, comparing the Layer 2 with Bitcoin inscriptions, evaluating Casplex's Layer 2, the strengths and limitations, and also the implications of UTXO-based blockchains. So once was a very in-depth article here, published on the 15th of May yesterday, which I have, if I haven't already, I'll be linking it in my free Discord server, which you can find the link to that down below in the description, also on my homepage here as well. But again, certain elements of this you should probably already know, and you also can read up it more yourself. But for me, the parts that I want to pay most attention to here is, you know, it was the part here about comparing it to Bitcoin and its strengths and limitations. So those are the ones I think are most important for me right now. So we can see that when we look down here, comparing it to Bitcoin inscriptions, similarities is it data embedding in layer 1. So both the Casplex Layer 2 and the BRC20 embed data in layer 1 transactions. BRC20 uses Bitcoin tap scripts, whereas of course Casplex embeds Ethereum virtual machine bytecode. The layer 1 as a source of truth, so in both cases the layer 1 provides a canonical ordering of operations. BRC20 relies on Bitcoin's blockchain to sequence and token transfers, whilst Casplex Layer 2 uses Casplex block DAG to order smart contract executions and then index the dependency. So both systems depend on off-chain indexes for processing. So again, similarities there to Bitcoin, which is good to see again. And there are differences here, which is where I believe that again Casplex and Kaspa is a step above. BRC20 three-step process is a workaround for Bitcoin's rigid protocol, which was not designed to support layer 2 operations, but Casplex's layer 2 benefits from Kaspa's more cooperative layer 1, allowing data to be embedded in a single transaction payload, reducing complexity and overhead. Performance considerations. So Bitcoin's throughput is limited to approximately 7 TPS, blocks every 10 minutes, but Kaspa is 10 BPS that can handle it every second. So again, that's really big news, handling therefore higher transaction volumes and much more efficiently. The scope and functionality, BRC20 is narrowly focused on token issuance and transfers, but Casplex Layer 2 supports full Ethereum virtual machine compatibility for smart contracts such as DeFi protocols and NFT marketplaces. And of course then Casplex's and Kaspa's flexibility is much more that than Bitcoin's as well. The strengths and limitations here also highlighted here as well, which is again successfully Casplex's Layer 2 successfully extends Kaspa's capabilities by enabling EVM compatible smart contracts. It efficiently uses the Layer 1 of Kaspa, and it's public verifiable, so since all transactions are recorded on the Layer 1, the execution of smart contracts on Kaspa's Layer 2 can be independently verified by rerunning the EVM bytecode in the canonical order, ensuring transparency. You can always check to see what's happening on chain. The limitations right now, though, is the index of trust. The Layer 2's indexer plays a critical role in executing bytecodes and maintaining state. However, there's a risk the indexer misbehaves. So such as presenting an incorrect state, so falsified Merkle root, while maintaining a separate hidden state. Mitigating this requires a decentralized index and network, potentially with economic incentives or penalties, which have not yet been implemented. So they hopefully will fix it very, very soon or find a workaround, but they have not got it just yet. And then also is the organization challenges. So Casper's block DAG, while efficient, is susceptible to reorganization in recent blocks due to its parallel block production, and this can force the layer 2 to avert and re-execute transactions, introducing complexity. So again, these are certain elements that I'm sure issues right now, but will be what's what I'm looking for? Will be taken into account and identified, and try to find a solution to in the future to be. And again, I think it'll definitely likely. I'm hoping it'll come through the cycle as well. In conclusion, Caspex's Layer 2 is a technically sound implementation of a base rollup, enabling Ethereum virtual machine compatible smart contracts on Casper by leveraging its Layer 1 for sequencing and data availability. So again, our analysis being Bits Lab, who's in partnership with KEF, if I'm not mistaken. Their analysis highlights its efficiency to utilizing Casper's high throughput block DAG, as well as its ability to extend functionality through Ethereum virtual machine compatibility. So they see Caspex as a significant contribution to the study of Layer 2 solutions for UTXO-based blockchains, and its comparison to Bitcoin's inscriptions reveals both shared principles and the impact of Layer 1 design on Layer 2 feasibility. So ultimately just saying that it's a big upgrade, and we'll have to see how it performs when it's fully released. The public testnet should hopefully be coming out, I'd like to believe, in the next couple of weeks. No confirmation of that, just speculation, but from what I have heard and the nature of what's been said, I'd like to believe we'll see some form of public testnet from Caspex come out before the end of the month, and then the full mainnet launch before the end, with smart contracts live before the end of Q2. I can't even imagine when we go over 20 cents, they will still think that Casper is the best. Oh yeah, when we go over 20 cents, those who faded Casper will come back to saying Casper's the best, and if they don't, they'll be like, oh, but Casper did not get to $10. Well, why did you think $10 was possible? Those who have faded Casper are the ones who were so deep in the rabbit hole of Moonboy. They are so deep in the Moonboy thesis of Casper that when it was quite evident it wouldn't reach that, $10 price target, or highly unlikely it reached that $10 price target, they've kind of just left. And they've probably made money elsewhere, so, fair play on them. But it's just whether they come back or not. Casper, for me, again, is going to prove everybody wrong. It's not even greed half the time. Those 1% of customer info those people got, they'll use it to pretend to be Coinbase and probably scam some users. It's not always greed. I mean, that's also true. I mean, we actually have seen it in my community earlier. I think a couple people in my community mentioned how they got a call from Coinbase recently. And a message from Coinbase recently stating about, issues about, security hacks or whatever it may be, and they need to, verify their account. So, yeah, ultimately, just be very, very careful. And that's, again, the downside of these centralized exchanges also that require KYC and AML. While they are policies and regulations that have been implemented by, the financial service authorities to protect investors, they also are causing harm at the same time, because ultimately, again, the social engineering element, the quote-unquote hack that happened with Coinbase, it means that people who have that data available to them, who can check it because it's all available on the system, they can just give it out. If you're part of an exchange or a platform that has no KYC or those elements, what does make it more susceptible to therefore illicit things taking place on the platform, it also brings more potential to investors as well. So hopefully we'll find a way, while it's going to be very, very difficult, I'm sure, find a way to, prevent AML, so anti-money laundering, or prevent money laundering, so to be able to enforce AML and KYC elements to protect investors while also not giving out personal information. Social engineering scams can be prevented. Education, companies require their employees to undergo cybersecurity training. I mean, yeah, again, I think Coinbase also aren't necessarily taking their security seriously either, evidently, at least in that element, because they had taught their employees about the cybersecurity elements and they wouldn't have done that. In the case, though, it was straight bribery, and Coinbase said they will be prosecuting those people. I mean, that's also, yeah. And yeah, that falls under the code of conduct training. Yes, they've got to be trained about it, and they, that should be a penalty. When I'm saying penalty, giving out personal information like that, they have effectively almost enough information, I'd argue, to completely steal your identity and therefore make you out to be a criminal. So giving that out is not just a fine penalty; it's more severe as well. You should not be doing that. Coinbase has also put a bounty on the thieves. Yeah, I saw that as well, actually. I thought that was quite funny because the thieves were like, oh yeah, we want, I think it was $200 billion or something like that, and we won't release the information. They said, okay, well, in fact, we'll pay $200 billion for anyone to find out who the hackers are, and we'll come and get you. Which I think is very, very funny. Actually, I remember a movie about it. I forget the name of the movie, but there's a movie where some guy basically stole some kidnapper stole somebody's son and demanded a $2 million ransom for the child, and the guy went on news or a news platform, whatever, to address the kidnapper and said, I have your $200 million, and it was laid out right in front of him. He said, but you will never see a dime, a cent, a whiff of this money. Instead, this is going to be the bounty to hand you in, and I'm also going to be running a full page newsletter ad bounty for you every single Friday for as long as it takes until my son's returned to me. And it is a very ballsy strategy, but it's one of those that, again, like, it can work. The last thing you want to do, obviously, when people are trying to scam you, is to give them what they want. But of course, it's a thin line you've got to tread. Again, I think Coinbase are going about it whatever way they can do. They need to make sure they do train their employees properly, though, to not be giving out information for people. But that's again why no KYC exchanges, while do carry some elements of risk for some people, as long as they're compliant with regulations, they're perfectly fine. Actually, between the co-workers I've educated on Kaspa, they have invested a cumulative 50k between them, DCAing all the way down. They listened and understand. They listened to understand. Well, Cryptoni doing absolute service to the Kaspa community there. Well done, brother. Love to hear that. And yeah, hopefully we can continue educating the masses. Speaking of which, actually, there's this post here. I've got a few more posts here to go through. So this post here, ultimately highlighting from Mono here. Somebody just filled an entire malware block with a single transaction containing 998.299 bytes of data split across two return outputs. And Parker Lewis highlights here, no way Marathon mines Bitcoin cost competitively. Did you know that they mine a bad coin called Kaspa, sitting on a minimum $1.3 million of losses, going to take 213 blocks of marginal 6.3k JPEGs to offset a single poor business decision? But who does that? Who does that at all? Kaspa lol. Now, evidently it's a Bitcoin maxi. I don't know in great depth the amount of money Marathon made or lost. I know they sold almost all their Kaspa. I know they removed Kaspa off their balance sheet as well. And I know that the sell-off of Kaspa from Marathon did start off at a similar time to the sell-off of Kaspa here. Now, Marathon weren't responsible for it wholeheartedly. They started mining Kaspa all the way down here. But they were definitely a contributing factor to Kaspa being, going down so much. And of course, Wolfie, Hype Man, highlights here in response, which, again, as we do as the educators trying to help people, is that I sympathize with Bitcoin maxis to an extent. I started mining Bitcoin myself in 2011 when it was just $7, so I have heard of every quote-unquote new next Bitcoin since then. However, got to be careful not to paint yourself into a corner with boy who cried wolf syndrome. Eventually, someone who's going to be telling you the truth about the next Bitcoin, and in this case it is Kaspa. Not that it will replace the next generation of Bitcoin, not that it's going to replace or be the next Bitcoin necessarily, but simply because it actually finishes Satoshi's what Satoshi started. Being a peer-to-peer electronic currency. Orange is great, Bitcoin's great, store of value, digital gold, first mover advantage, ETF exposure, brand recognition, it's fantastic. However, and every single Bitcoin maxi can attest to this, Bitcoin sucks at transacting, which is what Bitcoin's main principle is meant to be for. Bitcoin at the base layer is meant to be also available for peer-to-peer transactions. It cannot do that efficiently. It's not good enough for it. Therefore, Kaspa fixes that simultaneously. 100 MS blocks to centralized Nakamoto consensus opens up new possibilities for DLTs that Bitcoin will never learn is impossible. Instead of the bus coming once every 10 minutes being Bitcoin to pick up transactions, Kaspa is an Uber with 10 Ubers taking transactions every second. It's simply progress of technology that open-minded people embrace. Now, of course, this is going to not, I haven't checked in detail, but I'm sure there's not been a response here as well. Or not a response from the individual here. And that's, again, it's the nature of being a maxi, right? Of course, every time we hear someone say the Kaspa 2.0, which people have said Cubic's the next Kaspa, people have said that Pyron's the next Kaspa, there'll be multiple next Kaspas coming out, and we equally choose not to believe them, which so far, everything has gone to zero. That's proven that Cubic's the only one that's still up and running, and I mean, there's still a seemingly back and forth between Cubic and Kaspa community, which, again, I'm not too well versed on. I'm not too bothered by it either way. I don't really need to hold Cubic in my belief. I'm happy with just holding Kaspa. But I mean, yeah, whether Malfoy made a bad investment decision on Kaspa or not, I cannot attest to. The fundamental underlying factor being here, though, is they still are mining Kaspa. They upgraded to Crescendo hard fork. They're not holding much Kaspa. They're still mining Kaspa, though. So evidently, they do still see a business. They do see an element to make, a positive ROI in Kaspa. Evidently, I thought they wouldn't have stayed with Kaspa still. So they're still with Kaspa. So again, Wolfie doing his justice there, also having the experience and expertise of being an OG Bitcoin maxi who simply researched and learned about Kaspa, who didn't just stay in the bubble of Bitcoin and nothing else. He understood that the element of Bitcoin had to be a medium exchange, and Bitcoin failed at that. But Kaspa has not. It's actually fulfilled that. You see a lot more coming to Kaspa in that regard as well. You've got some more projects coming out as well, seemingly in timely fashion as well. But you've got Kasway here as being, who aims to be the first decentralized point of sale solution. And they've now released their white paper. Also highlighted here as well, the user manual mainnet is in the work. Visa, MasterCard, NFC, Bitcoin Lightning, and automatic fiat to Kaspa conversion is on research as well, which is really cool to hear. And they'll share their latest roadmap very, very soon. So we're going to be seeing more about Kaspa. Kaspa right now, I am quite excited to see what comes out from it. Been hearing a lot about it recently, and it does sound quite good, truth be told. So I'll see how obviously what comes to it in the future to be. Also, you can check out the white paper right here as well. Again, the first decentralized proof of sale solution. And you've got everything about it. So the paper introduces Kasway, a decentralized payment protocol built on top of the Kaspa blockchain. BlockDAG. Kasway reimagines decentralized digital commerce by leveraging high-speed layer 1 infrastructure to enable sub-second confirmation and near-zero latency payments. Unlike traditional payment processors, Kasway does not rely on escrow or custodial models. Instead, it utilizes uniquely derived payment addresses generated per transaction, improving both security and privacy. So again, an upgrade to XRP in that regard, who has an escrow. The core idea behind Kasway is to enable secure, scalable, and censorship-resistant digital payments that are simple enough for merchants and powerful enough for developers. This white paper outlines the motivation, architecture, and design philosophy for the Kasway ecosystem. So again, I'll be linking this down below, or linking this in my community once more, so you can check it out for yourself. But it goes into a very not too much detail here. It's a white paper, and they'll definitely be announcing a lot more here in due time as well. But kind of just highlighting the use cases, the privacy and security elements, and how it's going to work out. Even got a little a diagram or something like that to showcase what's happening here as well. The program derived addresses, the PD element, the proxy addresses, FIA pay, the team management, all this stuff here that's very, very important. And then we can even see, the tokenomics as well. So this for me, I think is the most important part. Tokenomics, of course, we need to know there's no happening, anything like that. So Kasway does not, in bold, issue its own token. Instead, all payments and fees are transacted in Kaspa native currency, Kaspa. The platform applies a fixed fee of 0.2 Kaspa per transaction. This flat fee model was chosen for its simplicity and predictability, particularly for small businesses. While the fee structure is subject to future adjustments based on the network demand and strategic consideration, no additional tokens are planned. There is no pre-sale, there is no ICO or staking model associated with Kasway. Should a community express the need for a native token in the future, it will be considered through the government's process. So again, a community vote. Which, you know, KDAO, effectively KDAO is deemed as a government token as well. So maybe they'll go through KDAO again. Either way, that is good to see. You know, of course, some other projects doing through other means, like, for example, Zealous Swap, they have their own token. And again, you can... I'm not remotely putting down Zealous or Zeal. I'm still, you know... I think what they're building is interesting. Of course, their whole pre-sale element, that sort of stuff, and, you know, it did cause a lot of strife between them and Casper.com. But I mean, there'll be some projects that go through Zeal's approach, some that go through Casway's approach. Of course, for us being Casper native holders, we prefer the Casway approach because, again, we don't trust, fundamentally, I don't think any of us really trust ICOs or pre-sales or that sort of stuff. It's just, again, insiders getting advantage, basically. But I mean, either way, yeah, we're seeing more developments coming up for Casper, which is just ultimately really, really good to see. Very good news all around. And we're seeing, again, some big projects like BitsLab also highlighting what's coming to Casper as well. So we are, you know, again, looking strong right now. Again, we do see some more, I do predict seeing potentially some more corrections in the short term, but going towards the end of the month, I'm liking to believe and hope into June we'll start seeing Casper really up higher and higher. Might see, therefore, more speculation and hopefully confirmation of some tier ones actually actively making the move to this Casper as well. Casper might start climbing the ranks again, going to top 30, top 25, top 20. Is gaining more distance from ICP, which, you know, is currently now 200 million away. You'll see Casper start catching up more so as well. And I think a lot of projects are due to do very, very well. I think Hyperliquid is doing very, very well. Hyperliquid, you've got Sui is currently at $3.87. Tao's at 435. Had a little bit of a pullback, but Tao's still looking quite strong from its bottom down here. Similarly to Casper as well. Saw a bit of a 3x almost there. And even Say as well, not doing too badly, having a nice little run up in that time. Not as volatile, but again, I think it's just, it might be a slower mover, but could also be a bigger pumper later on as well. But things are looking strong right now in the market. I believe so. Welcome back, Brad Pitt, my man. Who's doing very well. Casper's price spike can take a long time, if not next cycle. I am not worried. I'm simply not worried. It will take a while, but as Cody has highlighted numerous times in our free community, our public server, you analyze Ethereum in 2017, you analyze Solana last cycle, you analyze most of these projects in the last cycle as well, AVAX as well. A lot of them didn't move for ages. Something that's very interesting as well, if you look at these projects, I mean, AVAX, for example, didn't move till August. Solana also didn't move till August, and we just highlighted, you know, quite a few minutes back in the stream, how the White House are optimistic we'll see stablecoin regulations passed by August. So that could potentially indicate the next leg up for Bitcoin and alts rallying harder, and therefore eventually dominance flipping over to altcoin dominance, and then Casper rallying harder as well, going into latter half of August maybe even going into October. So therefore you might see Casper pump, maybe not as aggressive as people want it to be, but they're getting burnt out, thinking it's already reached its peak, and then you just see an explosion with smart contracts being fully implemented, native smart contracts coming out, stablecoins implemented on Casper as well, potentially ETFs, who knows, tier 1 listings coming out, maybe Dagnite as well, if we're fortunate, and we'll see it come out as well. And then for Casper to continue to pump much harder as well. So again, it could take a long time, but I would be very, very shocked if you don't get the pump, quote unquote, the pump until next cycle. I think Casper's still, you know, in its infancy. We see a lot higher volume now. Of course, the space is bigger now, but we're seeing a lot higher volume now with Casper and more adoption in the crypto space now than we saw in Ethereum and Solana in their first cycles when they pumped to their 125 and $80 billion dollar market caps. So yeah, we're still not in a cause for concern for me personally. That's how you deal with scammers, Mel Gibson style, in one of these movies. Yeah, I think it's the Mel Gibson one. Yeah, that's how you deal with scammers. Yeah, you don't give them what they want, because they do. If you give them what they want, then everyone knows you can do the same thing and take advantage of you. You've got to fight fire with fire. 8 of the 11 of them have a weekly DCA set up from their paycheck. Wow, Kryptonian is actually doing an absolute service there. 8 out of 11 people are DCing into Kaspa weekly with their paycheck. That is huge. Big stuff there. And yeah, Kaspa's, I mean, that's going to help out massively with Kaspa price as well. Yeah, people are waking up, I think so as well. I think people are definitely waking up. Yeah, it's Ransom. It was Ransom. That's the movie. Yeah, I thought so. Ransom 1996. Yeah, that honestly, what a movie. What a movie. We've been asleep for a long time, 1.5 years, almost a project only 3.5 years old. Now we are trying to pump in billions. It's different than before. I mean, I see where you're coming from, but in that regard, then, I mean, think again, I see where you're coming from. I do, because yeah, 1.5 years we have been, you know, sleeping, if you will, in this whole segment here. But, you know, Kaspa did incredible in the bear market, and every other project back then was sleeping. And even then, a lot of projects right now, like, they're still, like, is Sui technically sleeping right now? Because it's been in this zone here. You know, the zone here since November 24. So it's not been over a year and a half, but is it technically sleeping here? Yeah, it's for me, Kaspa it's not had the adoption come through to allow it to rally higher, and it's not had the VCs or exchanges to pump the price higher yet. The exchange will come through, I'm sure. And I think, yeah, Kaspa can still shock a lot of people. Has everyone been watching the Kaspa speed battles? Kaspa has beat every single project it's been pitted against. The closest to beating Kaspa has been Tron and Sui. None of the others get close. I mean, yeah, people will soon realise that Kaspa is significantly faster, and while adoption is lackluster, it's going to come through. People see how quick Kaspa is. And yeah, it's also a possibility, although yeah, if we do get some more hacks or black swans, then yeah, who knows. The scammers are never going to give you up. Yeah. I saw Bingo put in the community as well how he has anytime he gets a no-caller ID or a scam call, he has it go straight to the voicemail, and his voicemail is literally 3.5 minutes of just never going to give you up, which I think is brilliant, by the way. Honestly. You know, they're going to waste your time, waste theirs back, and rickroll them, as you should. Rickrolling in 2025 is devious work. Yeah, never going to let you down. 20 billion market cap is very realistic, even the cycle. Yeah, I mean, 280 billion market cap would put Kaspa, you know, in and around $10. It sounds extortionate. It sounds extortionate, definitely. But it's a fact of, you know, when you're comparing Kaspa to other big projects. So Ethereum in its first cycle went to 125. Solana in its first cycle went to 80 right now. And Kaspa, you know, is significantly earlier, if not the same, you know, price pump in the same case, but it's the most innovative technology coming out since, well, I'd argue, ever in crypto. The fact that you have institutions like the KRI who are going to be using Kaspa in enterprise level solutions as well. So it's always going to get some big institutional adoption. The fact that you've got more money ever before entering crypto. All factors are going to play a big part into Kaspa going up a lot higher as well. So can we see $10 a cycle? Again, I'm not saying so. Who knows? But I do think Kaspa can supersede expectations. People have got very bearish on it because of how lackluster the price has been the last year and a half. But once it breaks through that mental block and it starts going up, the euphoria will kick in again. And that euphoria can be intoxicating. I wonder how much actual will KRI facilitate companies bring in for Kaspa, and when. Same thing for all the layer 2s on Kaspa, Sparkle, IGRA, and Casplex. Yeah, I also do agree as well. I mean, it'd be interesting to see how long it will take. I know the KRI are already, I think they're already in the testing stage now of implementing the gigawatt. And they're trying to figure out the warp core now as well. They've already got regulations, gross, for gigawatt as well. So, I mean, yeah, it's an interesting one, ultimately. I think we'll see the adoption come through the cycle, though. That's how much I do believe we'll see it doesn't come through the cycle. Is your crush Erica in the chat? Erica sounds like a lovely girl. I don't have a crush on any of my fan base or my community, but I mean, I love you all in your own unique ways. Bitcoin now is like a mature woman that cannot provide something new, old tech. The world needs Kaspa, the new woman with new innovation that completes a social vision. So Bitcoin will exist only as digital gold. I mean, yeah, I that's fundamentally how I think most people should perceive Bitcoin now, and Kaspa therefore being the solution to that. People are trying to say XRP is the solution to that, and Sui. I mean, everyone has their own corner they're standing in. XRP maxis, Sui maxis, Solana maxis. You know, that standing in their own corner, saying everyone's in agreement that Bitcoin is too slow. It means something faster. For me, the only one that actually really does a test to Bitcoin though is Kaspa. And as my man says here, yes, if you enjoy these streams, I do it every single day. Leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Not yet, unfortunately, Wing Hong, but give it a few months. Is Zealous a scam? The only flaw about Kaspa, in my opinion, is that it doesn't have a privacy factor like XMR has. Good question. I mean, I have not looked too much in depth at that element. The only thing I do know, which again, how it's going to pan out in the future, we cannot attest to, but I do know that Europe are planning on banning all quote-unquote privacy tokens like XMR. Now, again, that might be their downfall because they've got too rigid regulations. I will have a quick look at Zealous here. Or Zealous, however you pronounce it. Or Exilus, I really have no idea how it's pronounced. But I have heard of it. It's a very small asset, I know that much. It's got a $572 million market cap. It has come down significantly since launch in late 24. Not got many exchanges right now. I don't see an about page for it, so I don't exactly know what it's about. I cannot attest to it too much. I think I have seen people in the community talk about it, and they're a bit standoffish about it. But without doing more research, I cannot say for sure. The chart in itself, though, you know, seeing it come down, make another high, and then come down more, so it's seemingly, I don't know. It's tough to say. It's tough to say. It's a very small project. So if you have conviction in it and you want to invest, do your own research. By all means, go for it. Again, I'm not telling you to do so. I'm not a financial advisor. But as it's a market cap, as a micro cap, it means it's got a higher chance to make significant, you know, multipliers, but also a high risk for it just to go to zero. Why don't all of us here remove, sell, and of any Kaspa below $1 right now? Because we want to hold for the future. You skip my Reddit comment. Sad Buffalo. Is that? Do I have that? I think I do actually. Was that you? Yeah, that one here. Yeah, Buffalo put this in earlier here. Funds stuck on Changelly for over 5 months due to AML KYC. No response, no progress. So just wanted to give an update regarding my case with Changelly. It's now been over 5 months. Over 5 months. Since my crypto funds were frozen due to a so-called AML KYC check, I've submitted every document they've asked for, including full KYC, and have followed up a dozen times via support. Till I get no updates, only vague automated replies, if any. Out of frustration, I've already reported this to several financial and consumer authorities in St. Vincent and the... I'm not going to pronounce that because I'm going to butcher that and I don't want to offend anybody. But yeah, I mean, this is a... I have heard a few things about Changelly, and apparently they're not that trusted, so I'll be very careful of that. But I mean, yeah, that is ultimately, again, the roadblock, if you will, regarding KYC and AML. While again they're there to so supposedly protect investors, and I do think they do, I feel like they're also an element of control, because that, like again, the Coinbase thing. While again it wasn't exactly a hack, more a social engineering thing. If they had no KYC elements, meaning they didn't have all your personal info, they would have got nothing out of it. Maybe just your Coinbase account. But at that point, then you shouldn't have any of your crypto on exchanges anyway. It should be in a cold storage where it's safe. Love you, Jay. Let's find a way together with our millions of Kaspa. You know it, Erica. Welcome back. Hope you had a great day so far. Kaspa just beats Say in transaction speed. I mean, yeah, Say is incredibly quick. I think Say right now is actually one of the quickest. I think the quickest protocols right now would be Hyperliquid, Say. I think Sui's up there as well. But Kaspa has blown all of them out of the water so far, which is huge. Calm people in the power of the world will never allow something like XMR getting wildly adopted. Yeah, that's what I mean. People who are, I mean, that's why you've got, again, Mika, Europe, who are trying to ban privacy tokens by 26. I don't think it's going to work. At least I don't think it's going to work worldwide, but, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Exodus is GPU mineable coin, if I remember correctly. I mean, again, that's also probably why I don't know, but I don't mine crypto, which, again, could be my downfall. But, I mean, I've got a crap PC, so I don't have a miner. But, I mean, maybe it's worth it. Again, it's up to you to do your own research, though. If none of us sell, Casper will moon immediately. I mean, I don't think anybody in this current chat, with 68 people watching right now, love you all, thank you for being here once again. I don't think any of us right now are selling Casper. I think anyone who's holding Casper right now are pretty much just the actual conviction holders. I think the people who are trading Casper more frequently, and, you know, I mean, people still trade Casper, nothing's wrong with it. Again, you do you. People who will just try and flip Casper for a quick profit, though, they'll come back more so around here. That's my belief, at least. Or they came down here. But I don't think there's many paper handers left in Casper anymore, because they've all been bled out. There are multiple like this on the Tangent sub. I mean, and yeah, okay, well, again, it's a shortcoming of AML and KYC. Again, while they're to protect people, they are also a roadblock to, you know, freedom, effectively, and actually be able to, you know, that's why there's still a lot of people don't like using KYC exchanges. For example, yeah, I mean, as I made a video about it yesterday, I have recently partnered with BYDFI, and they're on exchange with no KYC as well. I don't know if they actually trade Casper. They do trading, of course, and their trading actually is, you know, very easy to use. I made a video on that again yesterday. So if you want to find out more, you can check it out. I've got a whole affiliate link down below in the description. You get loads of features of that as well, so you can go check that out. BYDFI is, I mean, I trust them as exchange. They've got regulations in the United States, Australia, Canada, Ethiopia, other regions of the world. So they are regulated and they have no KYC. So, I mean, that's something that, again, I think, of course, please do check with your own country regulations to see if you can use it, because I know in certain regions of the world, these exchanges aren't allowed. But I mean, yeah, there's a benefit to, you know, again, the whole element KYC thing. It's a protection or barrier, but also can be a shortcoming as well. My legs are tired. Can I stop running on this human-sized hamster wheel that's powering your house? Yes, you can, my man. I'm about to log off very, very quickly, so just give me 2 more minutes, my man. Is that for a transaction of 5k on Changely? It's best practice to take smaller amounts at a time over multiple exchanges, or is it just all transactions? I don't see where he says how much he's actually transacting. I just see he said if you're waiting for 5 months. So I don't know for sure. What I do know is, at least for me personally, again, is that whenever I'm doing transactions, I always do a small transaction first to see if it works, and when it does work, because I sent to the right wallet and everything like that, then I send my transactions properly. And equally, that, I mean, that can also be attested to when you look at these inflows here. When you look at these inflows here from these wallet holders, look at that number 2 here. Typically, when they're buying and selling, they do tend to do a smallish one and then the actual full size one, but they do multiple transactions normally before they actually send the full. Like this one here, from the Bybit wallet, they got 180,000 from Bybit here, and then after that seemingly test transaction there, then they end up getting 10 million later on. So you do the test transaction first before you do the big one. Even then, you do multiple transactions just for safekeeping. Outrageous indeed, very outrageous. Give us a cap, please. Unfortunately, can he do that? Just keep grinding, keep working, get on that bag. Changely website predicts Casper to be at 7 cents in 2030, or 70 cents in 2030, accurate or not. I think that is a massive undersell of Casper. To only be 70 cents by 2030, I think it's a massive undersell. That's only a 7x from here, and that's in 5 years' time. And from the research documents that I provided to my VIPs, one of the most recent ones again indicates how much money we're going to see coming to crypto. Information provided in this VIP group here. I would be absolutely appalled if we see Casper only reach 70 cents by 2030. I think it's borderline impossible. Again, that's my own belief, not financial advice. So I disagree with Changely's opinion there. You will need centralized exchanges like Experience, like Hyperliquid provides, and also Dexes has its downside as well. I mean, yeah, they're downsides to everything, of course. But yeah, that does everything. But I mean, you got to make do with what you give them, right? And I'm sure we'll find better solutions coming out with the space evolving more and more going forward as well. I didn't know my typos. Oops, my legs are tired. Blame QC. Well, don't worry, man, because that'll be it for today's Casper and Crypto live stream. Thank you everyone once again for joining today. If you enjoyed that, always leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. If you want to be even more in tuned, checking out more about crypto and Casper, more involved in the community, then check out the free community here. You go to the paid one VIP group. We've got a lot of important information there as well. Check that out down below in the description, homepage as well. Have a great day, good evening, and good night. For an announcement right here and now, I am going to be going live much earlier tomorrow because I'm going to be busy in the evening for me, so I'll probably be going live around 2:30 p.m, which is about 14 hours from now, give or take. So yeah, I'll be making an announcement in my community once again. Stay tuned for that, and yeah, take care.